Hey story lovers! If you're into mystery, suspense, and unexpected twists, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Ilara's world had shattered the day she lost Noah. The man she believed would be her forever was gone, taken away by a sudden car accident that left her drowning in a sea of grief. For months, she drifted through life, her days colored by emptiness and her nights haunted by memories of what once was. Ilara moved to a quiet coastal town seeking solace, a place where the crashing waves could drown her sorrow and the endless horizon might offer a glimpse of hope. But the ache inside her remained, a constant companion she could neither escape nor confront fully. Her fiancé's last words echoed in her mind, "Promise me you'll never stop dreaming, Ilara." Those words became her fragile lifeline. In this new town, surrounded by unfamiliar faces, Ilara wrestled with the loneliness that came from losing not just a partner but a part of herself. The small apartment by the sea was silent, save for the whispers of the wind and the distant call of seagulls. Each morning, she forced herself to wake up and face the world, even when the weight of sorrow threatened to pull her back under. Yet, despite her efforts, the nights were the hardest, when the darkness revealed the rawness of her grief. It was in this vulnerable space that Ilara's journey toward healing would begin, though she didn't know it yet. Ilara never imagined that in this quiet town, her path would cross with someone connected so deeply to her past. On a particularly gloomy afternoon, as the gray clouds hovered low over the sea, she wandered into a cozy bookstore tucked away on a narrow street, a small refuge from the cold drizzle outside. The shop smelled of old paper and fresh coffee, and soft jazz played faintly in the background. She absent-mindedly ran her fingers along the spines of books until a voice startled her. "Looking for anything in particular?" a warm voice asked. Ilara turned to see a young man with kind eyes and a hesitant smile. His dark hair was slightly tousled, and he carried a calmness that felt almost like an invitation to trust. I'm not sure," Ilara replied softly. "Just trying to find something to distract me." He nodded knowingly. Sometimes the right story finds you when you least expect it. As they talked, Ilara learned his name was Adrian. Their conversation drifted effortlessly from favorite books to life's unpredictable twists. Adrian had a quiet strength, but there was a vulnerability beneath his calm exterior that intrigued Ilara. Days turned into weeks, and what started as casual encounters in the bookstore grew into long walks along the coast, shared coffees at a small café, and conversations that stretched into the night. But beneath the budding friendship, a secret loomed, one neither dared to voice yet. Adrian was no stranger to Ilara's past. In fact, he had been her fiancé Noah's closest childhood friend. The knowledge weighed heavily on Adrian. The accident that took Noah's life was a wound that had never truly healed for him. Guilt shadowed his every step, for on that fateful day, he had been the last person to see Noah before the crash, a moment he replayed endlessly in his mind. Adrian struggled to reconcile his growing feelings for Ilara with the pain of loss and the burden of secrets. For Ilara, the world slowly began to brighten again, yet the mystery of Adrian's connection to her past lingered like a storm on the horizon, waiting, perhaps, to change everything. The calm they had built around each other began to tremble the day the truth started to surface. One chilly evening, Ilara and Adrian sat in the dim light of the Seaside Café, the gentle hum of rain tapping on the windows. They had spent hours sharing stories, laughing quietly, the walls between them slowly falling away. Yet, beneath the surface, a heavy silence hovered. Adrian's gaze was distant, his fingers nervously tracing the rim of his coffee cup. The secret he had guarded for months was pressing down on him, suffocating in its weight. He knew the moment to reveal it had come, not just for his sake, but for Ilara's too. "Ilara," he began softly, "there's something you need to know. Something about Noah, about the accident." Her heart tightened at the mention of that name. She had spent so long trying to forget, but now the past was clawing back. Adrian swallowed hard and looked into her eyes, his own clouded with guilt and pain. "Noah and we were more than just friends. We grew up together. That day, the day of the accident, I was with him just hours before. I tried to stop him from leaving, but," his voice faltered, "I never imagined it would happen. I've blamed myself ever since." Ilara's breath caught. A storm of emotions flooded her, anger, sorrow, confusion. "How could you not tell me before?" she whispered, tears threatening to spill. I wanted to protect you, Adrian confessed. I was afraid of hurting you more. But I realize now that hiding it only made things worse. The revelation shattered the fragile peace between them. Elara felt betrayed, even though deep down she knew Adrian's pain was real. The man she was beginning to love had kept a secret that bound their lives in ways she hadn't fully understood. For days, Elara withdrew into herself, struggling to reconcile her feelings for Adrian with the tangled history they now shared. Trust, once broken, was a mountain she didn't know how to climb. Adrian, meanwhile, wrestled with his own demons. He wanted to make things right, to be the man Elara needed, but the past threatened to keep them apart. Their journey had taken a turn into uncertain territory, where love and loss intertwined, and the future depended on forgiveness. After the storm of truth, silence filled the space between Elara and Adrian. Days passed, heavy with unspoken words and aching hearts. Yet, despite the distance, the bond between them was far from broken. It was waiting to be rebuilt. Elara found herself drawn to Adrian's quiet presence, his steady support, and the way he looked at her with sincere care. The anger and hurt slowly began to melt, replaced by a fragile hope that perhaps love could grow from even the deepest wounds. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose, Adrian invited Elara to the beach. The waves whispered gently, mirroring the softness in his voice. "I'm not perfect, Elara," he said, "but I want to be here for you. To help you heal, if you'll let me." Elara looked into his eyes and saw no pretense, only honesty and longing. For the first time in months, she allowed herself to breathe deeply, to feel safe. Slowly, their relationship blossomed into something more profound than friendship. They shared moments of laughter, quiet conversations under starry skies, and gentle touches that spoke volumes. Elara learned to open her heart again, not forgetting Noah, but honoring his memory by embracing life's second chances. Adrian, too, found peace in loving Elara, his guilt lightened by her forgiveness, his soul healed by her trust. Together, they discovered that healing was not about forgetting pain but growing through it. Love, they realized, had the power to mend broken hearts and build new beginnings. The journey between Elara and Adrian had been a path lined with heartbreak, secrets, and the slow weaving of hope. But as their love deepened, the question lingered, could Elara truly forgive, not just Adrian, but the pain that life had dealt her? One rainy afternoon, as the storm outside mirrored the turmoil within her, Elara stood by the window of her seaside apartment, memories flooding back, the laughter with Noah, the shock of his loss, and the fragile new love she was building with Adrian. Her heart was heavy, torn between holding on to the past and embracing a future she had once thought impossible. That evening, Adrian came to her door, rain dripping from his coat and eyes full of earnestness. "Elara," he said softly, "I don't expect you to forget what happened. I don't expect us to erase the pain. But I want you to know this, love is stronger than grief. It can teach us how to forgive, how to move forward." Tears streamed down Elara's cheeks as she stepped into his embrace. In that moment, she realized forgiveness was not about absolving mistakes, it was about freeing her own heart to love again. "I forgive you," she whispered, "and I forgive myself." The past did not disappear, but it no longer held her captive. Together, Elara and Adrian chose to build a life rooted in honesty, compassion, and hope. Their love, born from loss and nurtured by courage, became a testament to the power of forgiveness, an unforgettable romance that would inspire others to find light even in their darkest moments.